It sounds like you've had some abnormal bleeding, some periods that aren't normal for you, like you'll stop bleeding after 3 and 4 days and then start again after a day or two and have a day or two of heavy bleeding. Any abnormal bleeding should be checked out by a doctor because there's tons of different things that can cause it, some of which warrant further investigation or treatment, and others of which are benign and you can just watch it and see what happens. But it would be best to talk to the doctor, and they can ask you more specific questions, perform an exam, and then decide what to do from there. But as for it affecting your ability to get pregnant, again, this is another good question for them because it depends on the cause for the abnormal bleeding. Most women typically have cycles that last 25 to 35 days, and if you have regular cycles, chances are you're ovulating. And this is when your body releases an egg that can then be fertilized by sperm. This usually happens about 12 to 16 days before your next period is going to start. So let's say your cycles are 28 days. You're probably ovulating around day 14, or if your cycles are 30 days, you're probably ovulating around day 16, but everyone's a little bit different. So to find out if you're ovulating or not, there are a couple of things you can do. A couple cost nothing. And then there is one way, an over-the-counter test that does, it is a significant investment for some people, but it can help you determine exactly when you're ovulating or most fertile. A woman is most fertile about 6 days out of each month, 5 days leading up to ovulation and on the day of ovulation. So, like you were saying, you need to know if you're ovulating and when that time is and time intercourse with ovulation. So, if you don't want to think about it, it sounds like you've been trying for a few months, you probably do want to start thinking more about timing. But you can just start having intercourse every day or every other day, starting from the time your period ends. And do this for a week or two, and this should time intercourse with ovulation as long as you're ovulating. Or you can pay closer attention to when you're ovulating by checking your temperature every morning before you get out of bed. This is called your basal body temperature. And before you even get up to go to the bathroom, you take your temperature. But the problem with this is that it helps you in hindsight. So you can track this over a period of months and decide when your body's ovulating, but you don't see a rise in your temperature until about 24 hours after the fact. So you'll see a normal body temperature for a few days, and then you'll see a slight increase and then a spike 24 hours after. So again, this is helpful in hindsight. You can also pay attention to cervical mucus because during your most fertile time, cervical mucus becomes more slippery and a little more stringy, and then after you ovulate, it goes back to normal. Now, you can also get over-the-counter tests like I mentioned before, and these are helpful because it's kind of like a pregnancy test. If it's positive, it means that you're fertile. So it usually gives you like a 12 to 48 hour window of time before, you need to have intercourse because you're ovulating or you're during, that's that 5 days leading up to ovulation. And so it's detecting a hormone called luteinizing hormone, which is associated with ovulation. So if that is present and the test detects it, then that's how you know if you're fertile or not. Again, I think it would be best for you to talk to your doctor though, and they can decide what the abnormal bleeding is due to, help you decide if you're ovulating or if the cause of the abnormal bleeding might be affecting ovulation, and give you some more tips to help you get pregnant. I hope to be hearing pregnancy questions from you in the future, but if you have any others, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms and recommend us to your friends and family too.